All right. Well, welcome everybody. Thanks for spending time with us on this. I guess it's a Thursday night. I'm here at the World Series waiting for the game to start. No. But I do thank you all for coming in tonight. I know there's a lot of options to spend your time on any evening, and especially like having kids and sports and hobbies and all that. So thanks for joining in. And if you're watching the replay, happy to have you here as well. So real quickly, for those of you that don't know me, I'm sure most of you guys do, but I'm Cal Ewing and I live in Calgary, Canada, but I invest in US real estate and I've been doing that for a good 13 years now. And so I've spent a lot of time trying to crack marketing. I didn't really realize when I got into real estate how much of a marketing business this is. Everyone thinks about houses and the before and afters and everything, but really this business is really just a marketing business, and the numbers and the repairs and the tenants and stuff, that's kind of, I don't know, kind of secondary, really. It's all about marketing and growing your network. And the more people you know and reach out to, that's really how you find success, whether that's to find house deals, to find private money, to fund your deals, to find buyers, to find tenants, to find contractors, everything. It's all just growing your network. And so it's been a challenge at times. And I've failed a lot just trying different things and spending money on marketing maybe where I shouldn't have, and then also spending money where it really worked. And so I like to help people that are also in real estate, but also in other businesses too, small businesses where you're trying to crack this marketing thing and find options and find systems, right? Because a lot of times we have other hats we have to wear, whether it's in your own business or maybe you're also working a full-time job. And so the more systematic you can approach marketing, but also have it effective and cost effective, makes it a big difference in your business as far as growth. So I'm excited to welcome my new friend, Andy Detwiler, with PrintGenie and Go Big Printing. And I guess, Andy, I'll let you just sort of explain your history and what you're doing with your company, and I'll let you take it from here right now.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, thanks for having me on. It's nice to meet you guys. I make this a casual affair. I've done this a long time. And I'm not an investor. I build software and deployment mechanisms for direct response marketing for 24 years. That's my history and that's the background. So, but with that history comes a lot of experience in direct response marketing. And so what I'll do is I'm going to share my screen and then I'll walk you through about a 20-minute I don't know, kind of a slide deck visual to better understand what I'm talking about. And then it'll add some baseline understanding as to what PrintGenie is all about, right? So let me share my screen and then there we go. Okay, and jump over here. So if you can see my screen enough, how's that, Cal? Does that work for you? Can you see that?
Yep, you betcha.
Okay, so I think it's really good for you to understand. Instead of, I can jump in and show you the application in 5 minutes and I can say, okay, these are the things you can do, but I don't think it's going to have enough context inside your head to know that I'm speaking from what I've learned and I'm passing that forward so that you can take the information that I've learned and then apply it to your methodologies and your marketing strategies. But to give you just like a bit of an understanding about 22 years ago, we started building print on demand. That was the ability to edit something on your computer and send it to a printer. That's how I got started. Me and 8 guys built a solution that did that. And over the course of all these 20 years, most of the time, it's been coaching companies that have been sending their students to us. So the students would come in with their head full of like how to buy and sell and flip houses and wholesale houses, et cetera, et cetera. And then they would get to us and be like, okay, now what? And so that's kind of what, Cal was just alluding to. There's the logistics of how much it costs to, fix windows or to give your, a quote on the value of a property after you fix it, right? So how to do comps and all the typical things, what kind of contracts you should say. Then it gets a little granular, like, well, I want to focus on subject to or lease to buy or on a wholesale or on a fix and flip or whatever. It doesn't really matter, right? Whatever you're doing, that part of the equation, I don't do. Coaches do. And so what they do is they then send their students to us, and it's our job to help them find success in their marketing strategies. So what I'm showing you now is PrintGenie. That's where we're going to spend our time today. And I'll kind of go through this with you. And just to give you a heads up, it's going to be about, maybe 20 minutes, 15 minutes. And then we'll ask some questions. And then we'll get into actually the application itself, but I think this will help. So PrintGenie, and I say this, and you'll understand it when I kind of go through this: multi-channel campaigns made simple, right? So, and you'll see as I kind of go through down my process here, at the end of the day, if you guys just left right now and you hung up, you would at least know that all the effort that we do has been built by and for agents and home service people. So for example, or investors, agents, and home service people, meaning coaches have said, this is what it should say. This is the call to action. This is how you hook them. This is your blah, blah, blah. And then our job as a company is to make it look pretty and to make it look graphically nice. And we'd use their content so that the kind of the combination efforts of their knowledge and our deployment mechanism and our design, when glued together, makes for that perfect storm. So our job was to commingle those things. But at the end of the day, if you walked away right now, we are a customer engagement platform, right? That's what we are, that uses mail, text, and email to deploy marketing messages, right? And then we can send it from, or you can send it from your mobile device, your desktop, your CRM, right? So multi-touch campaigns, mail, text, and email from your mobile, desktop, and CRM. And that's really important. I'll explain why as I kind of go through this. If you left right now, you would know that these campaigns aren't out of the extraordinarily expensive. I said that really babbly, but what I'm saying is it's not that expensive. When I say multi-touch campaigns that include like postcards and letters and texts and emails, what if I said all of this would cost about $3.30? Right? So you start to think, wow, if I send a postcard and a letter and another letter and a postcard, it's only $3.30. Yeah, that's about right. So as I kind of go through this, lastly, as part of the 10,000 foot mark, it's available from your mobile device. It's available from your desktop, and it's always on. This little icon here is a webhook icon, and I'll explain that in a little bit. I don't know if you have a CRM. I don't know, Cal, if you coach on CRMs. I don't know if people have their own, but I guess the point is you can trigger PrintGenie from your CRM, right? So that's how I do my marketing at night while I'm sleeping, right? So as I kind of go through this, if you want my information, if you want to know who I am, if you want to contact me, feel free to take a picture of the QR code. It'll save it as a contact on your phone, and then you'll have the ability to reach out to me directly and say, Andy, what'd you talk about the blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, I don't remember. Tell me, what was I babbling on about? But this gives you a direct connect to me, and then Cal can share it later as well. I'm sure we can give you my direct information, as well. So Cal at the beginning mentioned, here, go for it. You want to take a picture, Judith? Go for it. So go for it. And actually, while you're going to do that, I'm going to set up one more thing here. I think I'm all set with that.
I just took a picture. Thank you.
You did. You're welcome. Okay. So I had to do something else. Okay. So when Cal said Go Big Printing and PrintGenie, what he was saying is Go Big Printing is our company. We started that some 20 years ago, like he said, 20-year anniversary. It's actually about 22 years, right? So Go Big Printing, what I'm trying to show you here is Go Big Printing is our tool. A lot of people use it. A lot of people use it every day. You can log into the platform. It costs you nothing per month. You just pay for what you want. You order what you want when you want it. You only pay for what you want, right? So if you want 100 postcards, that's all you pay for. Our pricing, look around. There's probably 20 other companies now since I started that do direct mail, but you won't find them as cheap as us because we are a printer. We don't outsource it. And our backbone is Deluxe. It's a publicly traded company here in the US. And we partnered with them years ago, and they do all of our printing and all the management on the back end of that stuff, the production stuff. So you've got a good team behind this, ball of stuff. PrintGenie is different than Go Big Printing, because here on Go Big Printing, you'll see there's a 50 minimum, right? We don't have any minimums on PrintGenie, right? However, you can order postcards and letters on Go Big Printing. You can customize them on the fly. That's Go Big Printing. If you want to just customize a letter and change what it says and add mail merge variables and look at all the proofs of each person's name, schedule, take a list of 1,000 and have them just send 100 per week and pay for it only as it goes. That's Go Big Printing, right? So think of Go Big Printing as I want to do big mail. I want a picture of someone's property to show up on every single one of these postcards on the 10,000 postcards I send out. That's Go Big Printing. Okay. So why mess with a good thing? If PrintGenie's or if Go Big Printing is all that I said it is, right? Why are we building PrintGenie, right? What's wrong with, Go Big Printing if we're spending all this effort on PrintGenie? Well, I'll explain. There's no elixir, right? So do you remember the old, magic potion? You drink the juice and it's going to heal all your ailments, right? That's an elixir. I'm here to say there is no elixir, right? So for the last, 2 decades, these are the same 5 questions we've heard over and over and over again, as in which direct mail piece is the best one? What's going to give me the best results? What should it say? Should I do text? Should I email? How often should I send it to? Should I send it to distress leads or foreclosures or ugly houses? Should I send it to NODs? Right? It's crazy, right? It's a mad house of crazy, but I'm here to say there's no one hit wonder. If there was, I would have a single postcard on my website. I don't, right? I have lots. Shiny metal objects. What I'm trying to say here is that you and me, and we're all confused and distracted by shiny metal objects, especially with technology that changes so rapidly. And people are coming in all the time saying, man, I'm selling houses and I'm sitting on an island, and my dreams are coming true and I don't even have to lift a finger and it was free. Everybody's got a story. I'm here to say that even PrintGenie is a solution. I'm not saying it's the end all be all. I'm just trying to be transparent with you. What I'm suggesting is user instinct. I had this happen the other day. Someone was paying, he paid $800. Well, it was more actually. It was $900 to set it up. Maybe I kind of forget a little bit. It was around $800 to set up the whole thing. And then he pays $199 a month. And it was kind of a management tool to track and measure his leads. And then we got talking. And I'm like, well, how many properties are you doing that you're spending that much money? He goes, well, I'm going to have a lot. And I'm like, well, why would you be spending that much money per month on properties you're not trying to manage yet, right? So use your gut, use your instinct, use a tool that works for you. Don't buy a tool that does everything and then you only use and I guess I'm just overkilling this statement here, but be aware, be aware of what you're looking at, especially if you're new in this space. I started when there was nothing. There wasn't even the ability to edit a document online. So I've been around a long time and I've seen so many things pop up and they're like, just to go back in time, ringless voicemail, it's crushing. And I'm sitting on the street, dead mail, direct mail is dead. I hate direct mail. Use ringless voicemail. And I'm like, well, you're a client of mine and you send a lot of people my way. That sucks, right? Now, what am I going to do? And then, right, about 3 or 4 months later, it was like, well, Florida, you can't do ringless voicemail, right? Everybody's got regulations with, AT&T and Verizon saying, well, you know what, must be spam. So I'm just, I'm overkilling this statement. Sorry, I keep going. Okay, we're all different. Look at us all. We're all different. What's good about that is the fact that we all look different, right? So what I'm also saying here is that if we're all different and we all look different, really, that's just the visual, right? But we all think different. We all come from a different place. We had a different day today than yesterday. We have different challenges in our life or successes in our life. So how can we send the same message to everybody that's got different things going on and it to work, right? How can we send the same thing to everybody and have it work, right? So here's the big thing here. You have to mix it up. You have to send it to many people over a period of time because it has to land on their lap at the time they want to receive the information you're giving them. So think of it this way. If you're in helping people and you send something and it lands on their lap, but something happened that day that they're not interested, they don't care what your mail says. They're not even going to read it, care about it. They're going to trash it. However, in that period of time between that and the next time, maybe something changes in their life. Then they pick up the mail the next time. And a couple of weeks later, they pick up something and they're like, oh, now they're going to respond to it, right? Time and circumstances change all things. So what we're saying is you cannot send the same thing to all people. It won't resonate. So what we do is we mix it up. So we'll send kind of use this as an example, a handwritten postcard, and I'll just give you some of real life examples here. So just to give you an understanding, but so like, I don't know if you can see that kind of thing, but Is that really? Okay, so it's handwritten. Can you see that, Cal, or is it the lights killing the, too hard to tell? Anyway, it's kind of hard to tell from.
That's a little hard to tell.
A little hard to tell. Okay. Okay. Handwritten, right? So this thing, some people are going to go, well, that's crap. I'm not going to answer that. I don't believe that. What the hell? I'm not going to buy a house from a guy who's writing the scribble crap on a card. No way, right? So what? Some people will, right? Some people do. And then you might see something like, okay, I mean, I'm just using these things because I've got 1 million of them, but yellow letters is like, oh, yellow letters are so saturated. Those are so yesterday. They're so old. Well, some people answer them, right? Some people do. So then it becomes, well, maybe it's a little bit more formal. Oh, wow, I believe that. The guy must be real. He's got a formal looking letter, but you put a handwritten note at the bottom. Yeah, sorry, crappy way to show this stuff, but handwritten note at the bottom, right? So maybe you can't see that so well, but what I'm saying is, since we're all different and we all have different response mechanisms, how can I send the same thing? So by mixing it up, one of these things is going to resonate with you. One of them is going to land on your lap and be like, oh, yeah, I believe. Oh, okay. Right. So whatever it is, whether it's the call to action or what it looks like, we're all judging. Right. So that's what we're trying to do, is mix it up and send it out so it lands on the lap at the time they want to receive it. And we're also bridging the gap between digital and direct mail. Right. So we're saying, okay, digital, okay, don't do all digital because you'll be in trouble. Don't do all print because maybe you won't have the same success. So mix it up. USPS just did a big push on a discovery that they did, and they were saying it was somewhere around 67%, or actually it was 27% response rates when you combine digital with print. It's on one of these pages. So they did a back on that, and that was just a single push. We're doing multi-touches, right? So, but when you combine digital and print, it will increase your response rates. And that's what we're calling here, bridging the gap between online and offline strategies. This part of my slide gives you the reference to what I'm trying to drive home, which is authentic relationship building. And what I'm trying to do is this. If you send a single postcard that's handwritten, that's your one-hit wonder, right? How's that going to work? It might hit some people and land right. You might send a letter. That might work for some people, right? But you've got to mix it up, and you have to send more than one. And then in that equation of sending more than one and mixing it up, you can't just send one thing and say, hey, I'll buy your house or sell me your house, because that's kind of like me walking to a barbecue and saying, hey, how's it going? How do you know the host? Oh, you do? That's cool. I'm going to go say hi. And you walk over, you get your burger and your beer. And then I run into you again later. I'm like, hey, so what was your name? And you're like, hey, it's Aaron. And I'm like, oh, hey, Aaron, I'm Andy. Nice to meet you. Cool. What do you do? Oh, you're an investor? Oh, that's coincidence. I sell data and direct mail, and I'm in the printing business and marketing business. Oh, you do? And now we've built a little relationship, right? We've built that conversation. You can do that same type of thing in campaign structured delivery, where you're sending something, you're reminding them that you sent something, you're following up again, and you do that consistently over 4, 5, 7 times, and you've built a relationship. That's what we're trying to accomplish here. At the end of the day, you are sending a single mailer, whatever it is at that time, so they have to be able to read it and understand it and grasp it as fast as you are driving down the road. So that's why I call it my billboard, kind of like understanding. And I was going to give you examples and fly through a bunch of them, but now I'm noticing my bright lights killing it. So you just have to imagine that, I'm showing you a bunch of things, but that's how fast you do your mail. I know when you guys go through your mail, you're going, no, yep, okay, maybe, nope. And that's the way everybody does it. So you have to have a call to action. It has to resonate with the people, and they have to want to receive it. One of the things I talk a lot about is being the authority on a topic. And I don't know what Cal has learned or otherwise, or about some of the things we talk about, but we found that the more you can offer a more detailed perspective on what you provide to a potential home seller or anybody really, the better off you are. So not only building relationships with people, sending them multiple things, but offering them that free gift. As an example, and once again, I'll just pull this up, but I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I'll show you more clearly on another page, but here we are, we're saying, okay, this one's the probate home sales, right? So they do probates. So what they're saying is, hey, I want to help you with your probate situation. Scan my QR code and get my free ebook. And then it comes with a 20-page ebook on understanding what they're about to go through in the probate scenario. And it might be a foreclosure scenario. I'm not sure. There's ebooks for several different things. And if you want an ebook, you pay for it one time and then you own it. But let me paint a picture for you. Here's a outbound mailer. It's got a picture of, well, maybe on this one. Oh, right here. Not the, it's a tiny picture, but that's the cover of your ebook. And they scan the QR code and they go to your website. And they're like, hey, I'm Aaron, and I can help you through your probate campaign or probate challenges. Just put your information in here, and we'd love to have that conversation with you. They fill out the information, and that form on your own website, whatever website you have, can automatically follow up with a text and an email and another sequence of letters or postcards from PrintGenie. So now you have not just a hot lead, you're automatically marketing to them again, and you never lifted a finger, right? So, and it doesn't cost you anymore. You're just paying what, the 50 cents, 70 cents for the postcards. So the system already does that. So be the authority on a topic. And if you don't want to do probates or foreclosures, but you like the idea of this, then we can, I can introduce you to an agency, and they may charge you, I don't know, a couple $100 to create a micro ebook or something. And then you have it. It might be a 5-pager. But these are the things that we can help you with if you like this idea. Okay. And I'm just saying it this way because we have lots and lots of postcards and letters, but this ebook is just the one that's really built around being the authority on a topic. At the end of the day, if you have empathy and compassion and it comes across in your mailers, people will be receptive to it. They will appreciate the services that you're providing to them. I learned that long ago. There's a loan mod guy that I fell in love with just because the way he took care of one of my clients. And I was like, okay, you're it for life. And he just walked them, handheld them through the entire process. And it was just like, okay, so if you're coming at people that might be underwater or have some challenges and you're coming at it with empathy and compassion, that's going to be a win for all. The pain. Right? The big pain. The big pain is 70% of people, marketers, don't have an integrated content strategy method. It's hope marketing. What that means is they log into a platform, they find a postcard, they edit it maybe, and then they mail it out to 1,000 people and they hope it works. That's what most people do, right? There's not an easy way to multi-communicate to people over and over again systematically without breaking the bank. And there's really no easy way to make it all personalized and include multi-channels. It's just difficult. It's just hard to do. There's not companies that really provide that because printing is only recently, have we been, well, it's taken us 4 or 5 years now, but in a team of a massive amount of people to have the ability to print just one. And then the other challenges people have is compliancy and regulations in the digital space. You know, all the challenges with like things like Facebook, you know, is getting, you know, their Achilles were, you know, cut when Apple says you can't share information. And then everybody's like opting out of everything. So Facebook can't then re-advertise to you so much. So it's like all the regulations on phones and don't call them and do not call lists and things like that. So digitally, you're restrained. You can squeak by and I'll share with you a little bit how to do that. But if you rely only on the digital front, it gets challenging. The rule of 7, maybe you don't know it. Maybe you do. It's the idea that it takes at least 7 touches to get someone to respond to you. And by the way, as I talk about campaigns and I say 7 touches and 10 touches and all these things, I'm not here to say send more mail. I'm saying send less mail, more hyper-focused mail, but with multiple touches, right? Get the most you can out of that contact. Right? You can't just send one thing. The contact is value. And if you're hitting them one time with one letter, you know, good luck. Here's where you can succeed. Most people quit after 1 touch. That's what I'm saying right here. After 1 touch, they quit. And that gives you that less than 1% response rate right there. As you kind of go through the second touch, you're at 2, 4, 6, 10, 24, 81%. So this is that, you know, that good old Canadian hockey stick curve, eh? Right there. And that's kind of gives you the reference to what your touches can do. Now, 81%, yeah, I mean, I'm maybe a little bit monkey business there, but these are numbers pulled from the Direct Mail Association. I'm not making them up, right? So blame them. How do you get 81%? Well, you can't just send a letter that's talking about probates to a guy who needs a new roof. Okay, that's just the obvious. But the right data, the right message at the right time will increase your response rates. I'm not going to promise 81%, but I'm going to tell you your best bet at getting 81% is doing multi-touch campaigns and combining multiple efforts, mixing it up just like I've been talking about here today. At the end of the day, you can automate it. You can set up triggers to Zap or Webhook, your data, your CRM, your material. So trigger, when I get a new entry in my CRM, send a mail piece or send a campaign. That's what this is all about. So it gives you kind of a good reference to what we're talking about here. This whole automation function. We have nothing but campaigns for investors, agents. We do this for small businesses as well, roofers, solar guys, et cetera. So anybody in direct response marketing should be doing multi-touch campaigns. It just makes sense, right? So at the end of all that, you be the happy guy and meet our mascot, and then all your dreams will come true. And this is the best thing since sliced bread. So that gives you kind of a campy kind of understanding that in all of my years of doing this, this is the high level perspective of what we've learned that's going to increase and change the game in marketing. So with that said, I rattled through it like a water hose. I just data dumped you, but now we can slow down. I can go over how the tool works. We can have more questions and dialogues back and forth. But do you have any questions at this point? Does anybody want to throw up their hand, or anybody? I mean, I'm shout it out. You can put it in chat. You can ask anything you want, if you want it, or don't. Doesn't matter.
Well, I just want to say real quick, Andy, like having done this for a while, I started out doing the one letter thing, right? When I was first getting started, I had this big, huge list, but I couldn't afford multi-touches. And so I spent, a couple $1,000s just sending one-off mailing pieces. And I wasn't getting any results, or I'd get, 1 or 2 leads. And then I found the idea of, like you said, the multi-touch marketing. And the only problem is the company required like at least 1,000 or some leads at a time. And so unless you're buying these huge lists or spending all this time compiling lists, that's a problem, right? That's a cost problem. But I did find that when I switched to a multi-touch campaign, and I was only doing direct mail at the time, but I was doing like a yellow letter and then a postcard, then a greeting card and all these different things. And that is when my wholesale business started to take off. And so ever since then, I've been looking for just cheaper ways of doing that. And that's why when I came across your company, I jumped on it and started trying it out. And so I've been using it for just over a month, and I've just sent out my first couple campaigns in the last few weeks, and I'm already getting leads in now.
Oh, that's great.
And sometimes it's one-off leads, and that's a great thing. So that's why I wanted to have you on here to share, because I think it's just so powerful that you can go from a single lead all the way up to thousands of leads, and implementing this multi-touch campaign. So
that's good. Thanks for that input. So much of what I've discovered is common sense. I've heard backroom conversations from coaches and stuff. And sometimes they'll be like, if you listen to a coach in a mastery group or some of these big coaches that do a lot of stuff, they have teams of people doing outbound calls. They have text blasting, they have email blasting, they have ringless voicemail, they have Google ads, they have Facebook ads, they have websites, they do direct mail. They do everything, right? So then it really becomes, well, wait, we're all just human here. We don't have staff. We have moi. And so what do I do? How can I possibly, compete, right? So this is what it's all about. It's really the ability for us giving you the enterprise level solution that usually you would have had to pay a lot of money for in the past, right? So anyway, that's what we're trying to accomplish here, is just giving those tools so you mortals, we mortals out there can compete with the big guys. So let me share with you this.
Just real quick, Andy. Judith had a question that she typed in.
Hey, Judith. Yeah.
She said, I think this is amazing. Outside of real estate, do you also customize these services for companies as well?
Yeah. So thank you for asking that. That's a great question. When we built this thing, or we started going back 24 years ago, I wanted to print one way back when, but it was only recently well, I say recently now, 5 years ago, when a company, PropStream, you know, PropStream guys, but they wanted a direct mail component. So we built the API connection so we could print their mail, right? And so that wasn't just a quickie thing. That was like a battle. And we're still battling it, the ability to receive an order of one. And when we started doing that, we're like, well, wait a minute, we're not going to, we have so many clients that are available to work within us because Deluxe is the company we partnered with years ago. And Deluxe caters to a lot of small businesses, like 5 million small businesses. And we're like, well, let's build a component that works for any small business, whether you're a roofer, a solar, a dentist, or otherwise. I think there's, 10 different agencies or 10 different verticals that we're doing things for now. But if you have your own and you're like, wait a minute, I do insurance and I do wealth insurance, or I do reverse mortgages or something specific, you can make your own. We call it an instance, but it's really like a vertical, right? So you can create your own vertical and put your own stuff in there and then use it, right? So that's available. So I hope I answered that question, but yeah, yes. And it's not, so that's what, sorry, back up. That's why it's called PrintGenie, not REI Genie or Real Estate Genie. It's PrintGenie. So anyway, so then with that said, let me show you some of the fun stuff, right? So, oh, wrong page here. So from here, this is how the mobile app works, right? So if you're in Canada, hold on, let me turn off my Wi-Fi, get that working here. So here we are. You open up your phone and you can see this. Okay, Cal, can you see it? Is that big enough for you? Okay, so right off the bat, it shows you, hey, Andy, check out these 3 ways to search properties. So I can get rid of that. I don't need it anymore. If you're not, at the place you want to market in, you could always just type in the address at the top. So you guys, if you're like Cal, you're obviously not in the States, so you could type in, whatever you want, Rochester, New York, and then find properties, right? So what I'm saying here is, okay, cool. There's who I am, that blue dot, that's me, that's my house, right? So I can go next door and then I can market to that house. If I were just to walk down that street, that blue dot would follow, but I haven't walked, so that's why the blue dot's still there. Now you can spy on neighbors, and you can get their details of their property and the home value of the property and the structure, how much they paid for it, the taxes, things like that. You can skip trace them and get their phone and the email when available. If you don't want it, don't buy it. If we can't find it, you're not paying for it. So we also do things like this. At the top is the address of your property in question. And then this is the owner's address. It happens to be the same here, but in lots of cases, it might be a renter. So we're always mailing it to the renter. So the other things you can do is say, okay, cool. I want to take that address and I want to save it to one of my lists because I'm just driving around and I'm just saving properties. I saw an ugly property. I want to save it to my ugly property list, right? Where you see a neighborhood that you have buyers in because you're a real estate agent. You're like, oh, my client would love that house or this neighborhood. So you'd save this to a different type of list. So you're always trying to keep organize your records in the proper way. And that would be if you wanted to save that record and then do something with it later. But you might, at the very same moment you're there, market to that person at the same time. So I just click on send mailer. And now you have options. You can take a picture of the property and send it to them. Say, hey, is this your property? I'd like to buy it, or this kind of thing. Oh, this wasn't a property. This is kind of a weird one, but she took a picture and then that's not a property, but let's have coffee. I guess you could put a picture in that one, but I have another one right here. So here we go. Here's another guy. He wrote a yellow letter and he sticks the property right there. So that's kind of cool looking. So he made this one. I didn't make it. So he made it and he's the property show up right there on the back. So he made it look like a postcard, but it's yellow lined paper. You can't really see it, but I get so many interesting things. But so what he does is he takes a picture and then sends it to the guy. Say, is this your house? I'd like to buy it. And then if you want, you can also use Google Photo in case you are in Alberta and you want to use a property here. You would just use Google Photo and they'll give you the photo and you can use that. And that will show up on any of the postcards or letters that you want to send. Right here, is your house becoming a pain? And that photo goes right there. And you can also do this exact same thing by uploading your own photo if you want to, right? For whatever reason. And you can choose no photo. So you can either take a photo, upload a photo, or use Google Photo, or just choose any letter or postcard that we make, that Cal makes, that you make. They're all in here. And so maybe there's hundreds and hundreds to choose, right? So what you can do is if there's too many, click on the filter and say, well, I only want to find those things that are letters, and I'm only looking for handwritten letters. Okay, so there we go. Only handwritten letters. Yep, that's the one. And you can favorite them as well, right? So now all I have to do is click that, and I can mail that letter to that person for 81 cents right here, 81 cents to that one person. I hit launch and away it goes, just like that. So easy peasy, right? But here's where it gets fun. If I go here and I'm like, wait a second, I'd like to buy that house, or I'd buy that house, or that house, or I'd buy any of these houses. Or think of it this way, I'm a roofer. I just installed a new roof on this house and I want to tell all the neighbors. Or I'm a solar guy and I want to market to the neighborhood where all houses are, maybe older and they could use solar, right? So think of you guys are probably investors, right? So if you're an investor, it's like, okay, I want to buy that house or whatever, or you just acquired that house and you want to send all the nearest neighbors, hey, I just acquired this house, pick your new neighbors. Call me to see if you too want, you know what I mean? So that's the way to easily communicate. So if I click on nearest neighbor, it says, cool. Now I want to click on residential, not commercial. I want to market to anybody who's got at least 1,000 feet and let's do up to 5,000 feet. And I'll choose 10. And so it's going to go out and find 10 nearest neighbors based on those parameters that I just picked. And then what we're doing here is we're checking for delivery point validation, which means USPS, United States Postal Office, we're pinging against them literally right now, and they're coming back and qualifying if it's deliverable or not. It'll tell us that. If it's not, it's going to fail it and go on to the next house. And it's also doing NCOA, means that if Mary moved from Main Street to Elm Street, we're going to update that record as well. Very, very powerful stuff, by the way. So then I hit continue. And now, once again, I have choices. Take a picture, upload, same thing I just showed you. This is just a repeat now, but with those 10 places. But what I didn't show you was add it to a campaign. So now it's like, oh, okay, now I'm getting it. Andy's been babbling on all this time about hitting people with campaigns. Now I'm going to hit them with a 4-touch campaign. And it tells you what the campaign is, what it's all about, how much it'll cost. This one here is $2.60 to send. Well, this is kind of written kind of weird, but 1 postcard, 1 letter, 1 postcard, 1 letter, 4 texts, 4 emails for $2.60. I really can't beat that. I mean, there's just, and it's all first class, by the way. And I might have showed you, but I'll show you again because I'm proud of it. And did I tell you that already? But the real stamp with the handwriting, it looks like your aunt sent it. So, I mean, just imagine, it's like this stuff is just, I maybe sound overzealous about it, but that stems from me and where I started to do this in 1998. And now I'm doing this now. And I'm just going, this is just game changer. It's insane. Anyway, that's how you send a multi-touch campaign. It's as easy as that. And then once you captured those 10 addresses, you own them. And now you can do something else with them. But if I choose that multi-touch campaign and I hit go, all of those people are going to end up getting that campaign. So what's really cool is this. I can also, to pick this one just for fun, if I click add to that campaign, what it does is it'll not only calculate, add it to that list, by the way, it'll take all those 10 names, add it to this campaign, tell me how much it costs, how much I have in my account, the equivalent of what it costs. So 2 mini postcards to 10 people is $9. And it just, it's a summary. But it gives you a real clean reference to the fact that for $26, you're sending all this stuff out to 10 people, right? I mean, you just can't get more hyper focused than that. But once you do that, and I hit go right at the bottom there, now I can jump into here and show you a little bit. But once you do that, those leads end up, wrong account. Let me jump over here. I'll make my screen bigger. It ends up in your contacts. And so you can go right into your contacts. All the names that you've just captured end up in one of your lists, but I'll just show you here. And there's your list. And it tells you, okay, this person was added by the mobile app on this date, and this is what they got. They're getting this postcard, and it's going to put their photo, the photo of the house right there. So that's how it works, right? It's pretty simple to understand from the mobile device. And then there's maybe just a few more parts that, that I'll show you now, but If I go into the platform, I've got nothing but options for direct mailers. If you're in the agent world, you'd see agent material. If you're in the investor world, you'd see investor material. And then whenever you can ask a question. So now there's nothing but postcards and letters, and you find the one that you think you want. Just click on it, read it. All the variables fill in automatically. And when I say variable, I mean the recipient's first name, their last name, their property, your information, your phone number, your website, your logo. Those things happen all automatically based on variable data, right? So that's what that means. And so all I have to do is click on order and select a list. And there's no minimums. So I can select a list of 1, 5, 10, doesn't matter. Here's a list of 5. And then I hit OK. And now I can order that letter to those 5 people. And it says, Dear Stephen, sometimes life happens. I'm buying houses in the Louisville area. Yes, he lives in Louisville. Call me. Here's my number. And I just hit next step. And I can mail those 5 people that $4 for $4. I'm going to mail those 5 people that letter, that first class letter, right? Crazy good. So then all that I've been talking about is campaigns all day. So if I go to campaigns and click on order campaigns, what I'm doing now is I'm showing you all the campaigns that we built for you. There are foreclosure campaigns, inheritance campaigns, probate campaigns, hybrid investor campaigns, ugly house campaigns, right? Creative financing. All you do is click on it. And then actually I can step back a little bit. If you want to see how much this 4-touch campaign is, mouse over it. It'll tell you $2.60. Just like I showed you on the mobile device, right? Just a second ago, what it's good for, how often it goes out. And then you can click on it and see, oh, it's this letter followed by this text, followed by this email, followed by this letter, text, email, letter, text, letter, right? And that's it. And once again, all you have to do is just attach a list. There's a list of 5. Here's a list of 1. Here's a list of 3. And that's it. Add it all up. It'll take all the contacts from all of these things, all of these lists, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people. It'll tally it up and say of the 9 people, only 7 had an email and 7 had a phone. So 2 people are you're not charged for the 2 people that had a phone or an email. Big deal. You hit pay, you walk away, and that's it. These things will drip automatically. That's it. So after that, you might say, well, I would like to make a postcard or a letter. You can do that too. But maybe at this point, I can stop. I can pause again. You can ask questions if you'd like. Is there anything that's you're thinking about that might make sense, or is there anything that might be, confusing you, or is that giving you enough information? Good? No, nothing? Keep going?
Just that's a lot kind of information, and it seems really powerful. I haven't done any direct mail. I know Cal has. I was just looking into different marketing campaigns and what I was going to look at doing next. And this is very interesting. But with a direct mail campaign, even if you still sent different cards, like Cal said, it was multifaceted, like they'd receive different things, but it would just be, say, over that 6-month period, it would just be one thing going obviously to that direct address. Whereas this, they're going to be getting all the other components as well. They'll get that direct mail plus some texts, emails, and that's already in the campaign. And then I know when you have the campaign, say for foreclosures, I'm doing wholesaling and looking to buy properties as well, but wholesaling is my main focus right now. So if I went into, like you said, PropStream and pulled a list of whatever I wanted, then you could use that foreclosure campaign.
Yeah.
Or is there any ability to pull any lists or anything like that? Or?
Yeah, we don't offer lists here yet. We have some list things coming, but not enough to talk about. If you get data from PropStream, great. If you get it from Property Radar, great. I don't know, Cal, do you talk on data or anything? Do you have any recommendations that you use, or does it matter? I don't know what your MO is.
Yeah, like my main go-to would be PropStream, or if you're looking for something specific, you could go into county records or like ListSource or something and pull leads as well. So if you're looking for, notice of defaults in some county in Texas, because that was a indicator of pre-foreclosure, you could, compile your own list. But I think PropStream is probably the way to go.
Sure. And then some of the things like back to you can use PropStream. I'm obviously no PropStream, but another solution that a lot of people use is Property Radar. It's worth looking at. Pricing is a little bit less expensive, but let me just give you the power of what we've been doing with these guys. Same type of data. You're going to find much different. I don't know if you have you used these guys before, Cal? Property
No.
Radar. They've been around for a long time. They started and they really hit it big in the foreclosure realm of 2007 and 8 and things like that. But they've been around since 2004. I'm good friends of this owner here, but why do I like it? Well, I'm not going to go through the whole platform, but let me just pull up my town. So I'm going to pull up Encinitas, California. I went too fast. Encinitas, California. In Encinitas, there's 19,000 people. So certainly I'm not going to market to 19,000 people. So I'll come in here and I'll do a quick list for pre-foreclosures. And now I went down to 6 people. So now there's 6 in my area. There's 6 in pre-foreclosure. So on any one of these things, you can look at the details of any of these things, but I can now make a list. And I make that list, and now I own that list. And now what I'm doing is I'm going to show you my list. Once you make a list, you have that list, and new leads fall into that list every night. Well, maybe every night, depends on what kind of list you have and all that stuff. But now what's cool is that list, I automate it, and you can see that on the 3rd, which is today, 1, 2, 3 people fell into foreclosure, and those people are now getting my foreclosure campaign. So if you want to tie data to your marketing, this is a nice way to do it. If you don't have PropStream, you might consider going here first just because of the convenience tool of being able to do that, right? So, or you can go buy data on demand someplace, like even Go Big Printing has data on demand if you don't want to pay a monthly subscription. And you can create a free account on Go Big Printing and get data all day long. And if you want to learn more about that, I can show you. But once you, I guess I was going to show Cal the building a template and postcard, but I kind of think that might be too next level for maybe what these guys might need to do. I'm happy to share with you that. I don't know if does anybody want to kind of quickly see how to make a postcard or letter? Is that anything of interest and value to you? It's up.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what we do is I built this with the mindset of this. In Go Big Printing and any other place you get mail, you normally just go in there, log in, edit, customize, and you get analysis paralysis thinking about what should I send? How often should I send it? What should it say? And then you're like, hey, honey, I just changed the text to this. Do you think that looks good? And she says no. And then, you know what I mean? It's like, that's hope marketing. You're deciding to log in and edit something and send it out to a bunch of people, and you hope it works. PrintGenie is built on the fact that what you should do is use pre-created content. Like, think about it. Jump into the design studio, away from the ordering world. Go into your mail templates. And if you're good at it, create a mailer from scratch. Write it and make it look like anything you want. Any post, all of these thousands of postcards have all been made inside of, PrintGenie. So have you used Canva before? It's basically like Canva, right? So it's not as good as Canva, but it's decent enough, right? So you can make postcards and letters and greeting cards, things like that. But you might go, well, that's daunting, Andy. I'm not a graphic designer. So what you can do is go in here and find any postcard or letter that you like and then replicate it. Come in here and go, hey, I love the looks of that one, but I wish it didn't say cash, blah, 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 right? So you come in here and hit duplicate. And when you hit duplicate, you give it a name. When you give it a name, you should call it something like test. And then by calling it, something like test, now you own it. And when you own it, now you can do anything you want with it because you get this little pencil. And the pencil means that you get to edit it, and then you can share it with blah, blah, blah. But let me open it up and I'll show you how to edit a simple postcard. But you can edit the postcards, the letters, the greeting cards. I mean, if you guys do holiday greeting cards, these greeting cards, and you can get a sample of these, by the way. We don't mail to Canada, so you won't get it in Canada, but you can make greeting cards. And it's a satin matte finish, and it's a heavy card stock, and it's got, I usually like to put the handwriting on the inside. These guys, sorry about that. It's not really any, there we go, kind of can show you a little bit, but so I like that look, but it comes like this, and these are only $1.60 or $1.80 if you're a pro. So that's full first class. So if you go buy a greeting card at the store, you're $5, and then you're at 60 cents at least stamps. So we're doing all that for, it's really cheap. So then.
So you could upload all your family and friends and write a Christmas card.
Yeah.
And do it for way cheaper every Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so here's the back of the postcard. Okay, I wrote this text. I came in here and I clicked on that, and I'm like, do you have any interest in selling your house at? And I did something like this, and I went property street, and then I'll do in, and I'll use hashtag or curly bracket, and go property city. And then there we go. Do you have any interest in selling your house at 123 Main Street in, city? And I'll just change the color over here and make it red. Okay, so you're getting the point, right? So here's how you build it, but it's got that personalization element in there. So you can say property street, you can type in anything you want. You can say, hi, first owner, first name. First name. Hey, first name. Your property at blah, blah, blah for cash, right? So obviously that makes sense. But now you can make postcards, you can make letters, you can make greeting cards, you can make campaigns. Cal can help you make them. Or if Cal doesn't want to make them, you guys can say, guys, I love your platform, but I really want the letter to say this, and I want a postcard that looks like this, and I want this, and I want to call it my own. If you don't want to build it yourself, and you don't want Cal to build it, there's a company that's jumped in and does a lot of agency work, and they're very, very affordable. And they'll make things for you. I just don't know where you guys are in your mindset. There's certainly a lot to choose from without having to make anything, but if you wanted to, right, that's available, right? And you can do that too. But so with that said, there's a whole bunch more behind the scenes here, but that gives you a really good insight to, the kind of the flavor of what we're trying to present to you. I mean, it might be overwhelming because if you guys haven't really even done much marketing or direct mail, then you might be going, what the hell? So realistically, it can be as simple as this. Get a list from Foreclosures Daily. It's a probate list. Every week, you're going to get like 20 names. Dump it into a campaign on PrintGenie, and it just runs. Next Wednesday, when you get your new list of 23 names, dump it into PrintGenie and walk away, right? So if you want marketing done that way, that's a very easy way to do it. Naturally, you're not going to be driving for dollars because you're not here in the States, but you could certainly do it from the comforts of your home in Canada and type in an address at the top and then market to the US. So I can kind of pause here. That was a lot of information. Do you have any questions?
I'd recommend choosing a niche, like you were saying, like with the probates and really specializing, because the one thing I've encountered, and maybe you guys have as well, is like there's a lot of wholesalers out there. There's a lot of competition. So if you can make yourself look like that expert and pull your list, whether that's foreclosures or what, could be anything, but be that authority and go with that ebook or something similar. Have like a landing page with a video that talks specifically about that type of person or that type of situation. I think that's really the key. And the great thing about editing all of these is you can, really customize what your message is. And what I like about it is most of it's built for you. So you put your own personality into the wording or whatever. But that way, if you're a specialist, I think that's the way to beat the competition, is really hyper focus on a certain type of people and then make your content exactly to that person instead of just blasting everyone with the same I buy houses message. I think it's better to be an authority.
That's exactly right. Yep, that's good insight. Yep, hyper focus is the way to go, and also off market, and also distressed and people in challenges. That's the market, right? Because right now, I mean, it's wacky. It's a wackadoodle place, right? Trying to get a 7% interest rate on a home, right? So agents are having a hard time, So what they're doing is they're finding cash buyers, right? So and then investors are snooping around going, wait a minute, that house has been on the market now for a little while. They're not getting what they thought they could get out of it. So now I'm going to go back to them and say, well, you didn't get what you could have gotten about 6 months ago, and you're not moving it fast like you were before. Let's have a conversation, right? So, all right. So I can answer any more questions, but if you don't have any more, I think that's about all I have to share. But I think that gives you some good insight for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Nothing? Come on, guys. You can,
If anyone's watching the replay, I can definitely pass on both your contact info, Andy, and if you guys want to email me any questions, I can pass those questions on to Andy as well. So
yeah, I'm happy to help any way I can. Yeah. And hey, one thing, oh, you are in Canada, right? But anyway, if you're anybody that's watching, if I go to PrintGenie here and there's a .io and you click send me a sample campaign, if you click on that, you can order a campaign and we'll send you a text, an email, a postcard, or a letter, greeting card. And I won't even know what's happening. I just set it up. So this is just like a form on your own website. When someone fills out a form, isn't it powerful to know that you're marketing to these people? They ask, they're like, yeah, tell me more information. And without you lifting a finger, they're getting something from you. I mean, I'm about automation. I'll spend more time trying to automate something than a time to do it manually, because I want it automated. So, okay. So you guys good? All good?
I just want to say, so any of you guys that are watching, if you decide to sign up with PrintGenie, I think you can share campaigns, right? So I have the ability to share campaigns with anyone that signs up that wants campaigns, right? Andy?
Yeah. Your voice is breaking up, but I think you said
Oh.
yeah. So people, if you have your own campaigns and people came for the campaigns that you created, which is always a good deal. Like if you're creating the right campaign, the one that has the best, most likely to get a response, then you can jump in and share a campaign with specific people or your organization. But what's really good about it is like you'll share your link, Cal, and then they're brought into your world where you can then build and or manage them and create for them and assist them, right? And so that's a little bit of the flavor. So like you guys, Aaron, like Judith here on the phone call, what he can do is we can do. So you're not on your own with this thing, right? But what he can do is he can jump in here and impersonate you and take over. I guess I can't do that while I'm presenting here, but he can jump in and take over for you and then help you out. And then so do we, right? There's a help section here. There's training, there's live training, there's contact us. There's pricing, which is dirt cheap on printing a single mailer. But that's all available, right? So, and all you have to do is just click the, Cal will hand out your link, Cal, and then they'll click on start free. And then it'll say brought to you by Cal when you sign up. It should say brought to you by or Cal or your company name, and then they'll be able to access your material. But other than that, that's it from my end. I'm happy that we got to chat today, and I'm happy I got to meet you guys. And I'm here for you. If you have any other questions, just give us a call.
Yeah, and that's the one thing. The support has been amazing. When I first signed up, I didn't really know how some of this worked, and I've had calls with Andy, and Andy's got some people on his team that would also have some Zoom calls with me. So the amount of time that they've put in to help me figure out what I want to do and make it happen has been amazing. So you guys have really, really good customer service as well.
Perfect. All right, then, Cal.
Just one second. Question?
I did. Thank you so much for the presentation. It was fantastic. Is there anything, are there resources like tutorials that we can go through once we sign up? I think I've already signed up. So
right here.
Okay.
So if you go to help within the platform, right? Within the platform, you click on help, it'll bring you here and click on getting started. And then it brings you here and then 5 ways to get started and then videos and all this good stuff. And then like, how do I do this? Or how do I do that? And at the top here, right off the bat, if you want, you can schedule time to talk to a coach. And this isn't a coach like Cal. This is a coach that's like more click this button or, how do I, what do I do to do that? Or what do you think about this? Or when I do probate, should I address it to the deceased person or to the attorney or to the personal representative? I don't know, all those things that Cal can help you with, but we can also help you as well. If you're like, hey, I want my own attorney letter, what should it say? You would contact these people and they can help you as well. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you. And just to clarify that I heard you correctly, if Cal has some campaigns or, some additional things that he's working on, he can share that with us.
Yes.
That's amazing. Okay,
Yep.
thank
Yep.
you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for asking.
And sorry, Paulette, was just what, there's no monthly
Like,
fee, you just pay for each campaign or each mailing thing, or is there a month, like, how does that?
There is a monthly, yes.
Yeah,
yeah,
It's $49 a month,
right,
Right.
okay, that's what I was going.
and it's
so you
right-
you sign up to PrintGenie, and then you always
Oh,
have
there it
this,
is,
and you go into the dashboard and create your campaigns and blah, 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 right?
That's right. Yeah. So the $49 is, you don't need to be a pro. You don't need to spend that money unless you want to make your own stuff, right? That's the responsibility of maybe Cal. He can do that. He can make stuff for you and share it with you. But as a basic user, it gives you the platform, the mobile device, the driving for dollar tool, endless amounts of zaps, webhooks, and an infinite library that's ever growing with campaigns, postcards, and letters, right? And dirt cheap prices for single mailers. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the play here, right? It's the easiest way to do it.
Right, okay, that's what I was wondering. Good.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right.
Good deal. Okay.
Question.
All right. Nice to meet you guys. I'm going to sign off. It was nice to chat with you. Nice to meet you. I hope we can help you and to your success. Nice.
All right. Thanks, Andy. Appreciate your time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks, bye.
Bye now.